Vision board. I think it became like a compilation of like what does wellness look like, but also like what I look like and who am I. I think when I started off, I was very much just, I want there to be little to no white, which is there's flowers stamped everywhere. When I journaled, I wrote down, I think I put it has helped me recenter myself. Oh yeah, and then holding my tongue. I think about how sometimes when I hold my tongue, am I holding my tongue as a Hmong woman who shouldn't be speaking? Or am I holding my tongue because I'm Kat and I don't want to speak? And I think with HIP, I've slowly learned things. Don't involve yourself if you don't want to exert that energy. I think a lot of the things that we've been talking about are attached to my Hmong identity as well. So definitely feel like that's a part of me. I tried to make a point to draw Hmong clothing, so just really representing myself even more. So I thought it would be funny to write feminist, but with a wax crayon, so that it's invisible in a sense, but when you paint it over with watercolor, it shows itself up because the water resists the wax. But also, I wrote it there because sometimes I feel my feminist ideals in also relation to my Hmong identity, my head is in the clouds sometimes, because I think especially as we were talking about it, I want things, I want women in power, all this stuff, but it's hard. It's hard trying to be, yeah, women in power, but at the same time, there are women that are like, you shouldn't be. But this is good for all of us. And especially for those women to be women that I do look up to. It's my mom, my aunts on occasion. So get in the clouds, it almost seems an ideal and something impossible. I've put feminist in the clouds for me, looking at the sky, and it's what brings me peace. For me, it's gonna happen. I just gotta really stick to it and figure out how to navigate that. Because I am trying to figure out that weird balance of when do I hold my tongue? When do I not hold my tongue? When do I speak out? And especially because outside of my family, I am very loud. I am that person that's, yeah, these are my ideas. Even in my political science classes, it's kind of become that where I tried to hold it off a bit, but at some point I was just, whatever. We're talking about all this political stuff anyways. I might as well put out my own ideas out there. And I can do that in those spaces, but it's just in spaces where it's my family where I start to become a little bit afraid. But then there's also those moments where I hear people talk about really bigoted things, and I do hold my tongue because I don't have time to deal with you today. But yeah, it's those little moments of just trying to find that balance of what do those conversations look like? How do I bring those conversations up? Having to parent my parents about certain issues has also been interesting. It kind of gets across and it kind of doesn't, and it's exhausting. It's just a cycle. I want to grow in this conversation, but I get shut down in the conversation, so it just moves on. But I also understand that if I keep staying silent on this, things are going to stay the same, and I don't want that. I can choose when to have these conversations. Over here in the corner that says fuck the patriarchy, where it's in red. Red is the color of anger for me. I got a lot of issues with the patriarchy. Does my family probably perceive me as someone that's, she doesn't her tradition, she doesn't this? Probably not. I think especially because the way that I am around them, I am a little more traditional around them. And I think there's a difference between respecting our traditions, but also wanting to change the harmful ones. And I think that's also something that I'm trying to come to terms with for myself as well. That's what kind of makes me Hmong as well. And so it's a really weird imbalance, and just, fuck the patriarchy. And in Katherine's world, we have all these great things. Free healthcare, the patriarchy's gone, all these things are great, but obviously it doesn't work that way. And I also recognize that's not the best way to do things either. That also creates anger. So just wanting to work through with people, and I think that's also why I have the big heart there, wanting to have love for the community and working with community and working with other folks through these things. I'm understanding that the problems that I have are not my own problems at the end of the day. The same issues that I have with the community, with the patriarchy, other folks have them too, and we can work through them together. And for me, that heart is my love for the community, the work that I want to put in. And it's also a bigger heart versus the little one, because the little one's for me. I know that I have the tendency to also put others before me, which I think for right now I'm kind of okay with, because it's the work that I'm doing for the community. At the end of the day, it's also for me. That's just the words that I'm putting to it right now, because I want to see a better future. If I can make some little changes in the world that we live in to make you live a better life, that'll make me happy.